very good evening to you from wherever you're watching us from on the 27th of March 2023, a day when Azimio One Kenya led their second leg of anti-government demonstrations. And tonight, the tension is high after the second leg of the Azimio One Kenya anti-government protests got a not-so-expected response, setting in motion a battle of that was once described as a dynasty and hustler debate. Goons hired or not raided the Kenyatta Northland farm and Odinga's gas plant, destroying what their eyes could see. And as of this evening, the Kenyatta property had been set ablaze after the goons cut down trees and made away with hundreds of livestock. These acts alone could set in motion a circle of vengeance and class wars that we have no idea to what end. Now today again, journalists got injured in the line of duty, police officers alike. Protesters shot at and injured, and we're just in the second leg, with the government and opposition hell-bent in putting across their agenda. Each side of the political divide could be justified. However, they present their case, but the fact still remains, we are not at a good place as a country, and if we are not careful, there'll be hell to pay. It is therefore time for this country and all leaders to reflect and decide whether the direction is of any benefit or they can do better. Government and opposition alike, Kenya is bigger than any of you. Now, before we get into what is happening on the bulletin this evening, you can engage with us across all our social media platforms at Lookuptv on Instagram, Twitter, and of course Facebook, and at EM on Twitter. First of all, let's have a look at what's making headlines this particular evening.
Tonight on Lookup News, illegal invasion. Goons invade land belonging to the Kenyatta family, stealing livestock and cutting down trees. Also tonight, running battles in the city as authorities engage Azimio protesters during Monday demonstrations in Kawangware and Kibra in Nairobi. And displaced and rendered homeless. Families in West Pokot County left in the cold after flash floods swept away villages.
Now we kickstart this bulletin on the note on the attack of the Kenyatta farm, and goons on Monday invaded a farm owned by the former President Uhuru Kenyatta in Kamakis area in Kiambu County. And as Shadrach area now reports, the looting and destruction of property, which took place for almost 10 hours, happened without the intervention from police officers.
As political temperatures and engagement continue to rise in the country, scenes and occasions seems to be politically sponsored have continued to rock the country. On Monday morning, a group of goons invaded a farm said to be owned by the former President Uhuru Kenyatta's family at Kamakis in Kiambu County. The looters, who are arrogant towards journalists, looting livestock and other items in their sight, the invasion comes only few days after the parliament majority leader Keitany was threat on the same.
Hali ya Mkenya ikivamiwa, hata hizo mashamba zenyu tutazivamia, na wenye hawana mashamba wapate mashamba Kenya hii. Musifikiri ati wananchi wa kawaida ndio watapoteza mali. Even you will pay a price if you continue to instigate violence and bloodshed in this country. And that is my message to none other than Uhuru Kenyatta, the sponsor, sole sponsor, singular financier of Azimio, and the mercenary that is Raila Odinga.
The Azimio leaders who spoke during the demonstrations also added weight on the matter.
Peleka kumbukumbu, fanya maandamano kwa njia ya amani. Sawa sawa? Sawa sawa? Wale wanakwenda kuvamia shamba mengine na viwanda, wale ni waoga. Bwana Gachagua.
However, the looting happened without intervention from the police officers. Shadrach, Lookuptv.
Now, still on matters demonstrations, the Azimio la Umoja anti-government protests today entered its second leg, with the central business district remaining deserted due to fears of chaotic scenes, with security officers manning various streets. However, chaos rocked parts of the capital.
Despite the war of words witnessed between Azimio leader Raila Odinga and police IG Japhet Koome yesterday regarding the anti-government protests, Monday, the CBD witnessed heavy police presence from early morning, ready to curb any attempts by the opposition leaders to disrupt normalcy in the CBD. The situation was the same along major streets in the capital, with hundreds of businesses closed due to the fears of mass action. The number of those going about their businesses in town was minimal compared to other days. However, certain areas in the city witnessed chaos and running battles with Kibra, Kawangware and Mathare mostly affected despite the heavy police presence. In Kawangware, a police vehicle was set ablaze by protesters who were marching and attempting to make their way into the central business district. Journalists covering the protest were no exception, as others were arrested while others lost their equipment to the protesters. In Nakuru County, there was heavy police presence as businesses went on, apart from a small scuffle between officers and protesters.
Kama ninapanga yoyote uniweke ndani. Wananchi ni washahidi. Kwa hivyo wakati unakuja kunipiga ujue wewe mwenyewe unajidhulumu na unadhulumu kizazi chako.
Business in the city, however, has been affected, with matatu operators calling for a quick resolution.
Kama unavyoona hakuna wasafiri. Tulifungua kama kawaida saa 9, lakini kutokana na ile directive ya maandamano ni kama watu wamehofia kusafiri.
Tunazidi kusubiri wateja, lakini hatujapata kwa sababu ya hofu ya maandamano, lakini tunaomba tu kwamba kuwe na suluhu, viongozi wakae pamoja, wakubali kushirikiana ili waweze kupata suluhu ambayo itatusaidia kama wafanyikazi.
Keitany, Lookuptv.
Now, that particular story was produced by Brian Amwai. Now, a lobby group in Nakuru County has come out to urge the youth not to be used by politicians on the streets. The group, dubbed One Kenya, One National Alliance, has castigated the ongoing demonstrations in the country, calling on political leaders to have a talk and agree on what is best for the country.
Ina mama hoi! Hoi! Amani! Amani! Umoja! Umoja! Maendeleo! Maendeleo! Amani Kenya! Amani Kenya! Umoja Kenya! Umoja Kenya! Maendeleo Kenya! Maendeleo Kenya! Maendeleo ama maandamano? Maendeleo! Maendeleo ama maandamano? Maendeleo! Tuishi ama tukufe? Tuishi! Tuishi ama tukufe? Tuishi! Sisi tunataka tuishi. Na wote ambao Mungu amewapea mamlaka ya kuwa viongozi juu ya taifa letu, tafadhali.
Now, Azimio Party leader Raila Odinga now says that he is ready to keep the mass action on as planned until the Kenya Kwanza government meets their demands. And as Semi Adika now reports, the ODM party leader met heavy police presence as he tried to sneak into the central business district.
The second day of Azimio mass action saw Raila Odinga sneak his entourage through Kawangware, Nairobi, at each stop meeting police resistance, who fired at them with tear gas in attempt to disperse the protesters. Every opportunity they got to settle, the officers of the law are waiting to disperse them. Azimio la Umoja leader Raila Odinga has reiterated that their planned mass action will continue as scheduled until President Ruto's led administration heeds to their call.
Wana Azimio, tunaendelea. Wapende wasipende, bei ya chakula mrudi chini, sio? Na saba ifunguliwe. Unaunga mkono? Asante sana.
His Azimio counterparts have also insisted that they are ready to walk their talk.
Tuambie hawa, sisi hatubanduki, sisi hatutarudi nyuma, na wakimgusa baba zote tutatokelezea. Lazima bei ya unga ifanye nini? Ishuke.
Sisi tunasema baba akisema kesho tuende, si tutaenda. Na tunasema bei ya unga ishuke chini, ishuke. Isiposhuka wale washuke chini, si washuke.
Kisumu County also remained deserted for the better part of the day as the police were involved in a cat and mouse game with protesters who came out in large numbers to voice their Azimio mass action agenda.
Karo imepanda. Hata mimi mwenyewe niko na watoto wengi lakini nimeshindwa kubaye unga. Kwa hivyo tunaomba Bwana Gachagua na President Ruto wakae mpole, waone vile watu wanaweza saidika hapa Migori.
Atufikishie maisha, tumechoka.
Na Kenya tuko nayo ni shida ya uchumi. Sisi kama watu wa Nduthi unakuta sasa fuel iko juu. Tunaumia juu ya sekta ya fuel. Na chakula pia yenyewe shida iko mingi.
Samiadika, Lookuptv.
Now, on to a very sad story concerning the protests, and 2 people are nursing gunshot wounds after they were allegedly shot by police officers as they dispersed protesters in Rongo, Migori County. One of the victims was shot on the thigh as demonstrations against the high cost of living turned ugly.
Trouble started in Rongo as angry demonstrators converged at Nyarak Center, where Ruto was hosted and started special prayers to cleanse the area before police arrested several demonstrators. Angry demonstrators chanted songs against MP Abor, calling him a traitor and banning his effigies. In Uriri, armed police were on high alert as angry youth carrying placards and twigs chanted against their legislator Nyamita and President William Ruto, accusing them of the high cost of living leading to the injury of 2.
Baada ya kufika makutano Junction, nikakutana na watu wa maandamano. Hiyo harakati ndio nilipigwa risasi na polisi. Alikuwa amejificha nyumba zingine hapo kibanda. Sasa nilisikia kitu imenipiga mguu. Kuangalia mguu napata damu inatoka. Sasa kushuka kwa pikipiki, kuangalia napata shimo imeingia ndani. Sasa kuangalia nikaambiwa hiyo ni risasi, ndio nikachukuliwa nikapelekwa district hospital. Kufika district nikafanywa dressing, alafu nikaletwa Migori. Hiyo ndio ilifanyika. Nilikuwa nimebeba custom. Ijatolewa bado iko ndani. Baada ya hiyo tulikuwa vijana wawili, sasa mmoja wetu pia alipigwa ni ambavu hapa. Yeye akaanguka chini. Mimi si kuanguka. Sasa yeye baada ya kuanguka pia akachukuliwa na watu wa pikipiki pia akaletwa hospitali. Tuko na yeye hapa. Sasa hiyo ndio ilifanyika Rongo.
While demonstrations in other parts of Migori remained peaceful, the 2 centers saw violence as police were forced to fire in the air and lob tear gas to angry demonstrators.
Those are just some of the stories regarding the Azimio One Kenya anti-government protests. And the question, of course, remains, who will bow to the pressure? Because both sides are pulling to different directions. We go on a short commercial break. We'll be back with more news on the other side of this break.
Utachagua sura au tabia unapotaka kumchumbia mwanamke?
Anaweza kuwa mrembo lakini hana tabia.
Naweza jifanya ndio hata kama hapa sitapata, nipate kwa tabia.
Ukweli wa mambo ni kwamba wanaume wengi, hata wale ambao wanatutazama wakati huu, ni sura inawavutia mara ya kwanza.
Ukiona mwanaume anasema ule dem ako poa, ule dem hafikirii future na huyo dem. Huyo mwenye ako poa anapendeza, anakaa vizuri,
wacha kutudanganya.
Wajua kuwa na tabia nzuri lakini ikabadilishwa na hali. Kanisani wanja ndugu yangu waimba kwaya wakishuka wakipanga masika na hao ndugu hawachukui.
Lazima nikae na wewe kwa muda fulani. Nikusome, nikujue kindani sana.
Kuna uchunguzi aina mbili ndugu yangu, kuna uchunguzi wa polisi na wa CID. Kama kuna mtu ambaye ana ujuzi wa hali ya juu ya kujifanya na kukusoma akili yako na kukufanya wewe uamini kile unachotaka kutoka kwake, ni mwanamke.
Saseni, poa sana. Madam, niko na swali. Je, nikikupea hii pesa sahi, utaacha uchali wako? Hala? Kwani ni kesho? Eti ochapa.
Wewe, madam, ni nini?
Wewe relax. Nini mbaya na wewe?
But you're my love.
Mimi napenda pesa.
Mbona upite hizi shida zote na unaweza jishindia 100,000 times your bet ndani ya Lotto Mega Draw.
Changamka, cheza Lotto. It's easier, it's bigger, it's better. It's Grand Mega Draw. Cheza na shilingi 50 hadi shilingi 2,000 na ushinde mega cash ya 200 million. Isitoshe, kuna mega bonus ya up to 20 million shillings kila Jumatano na Jumamosi. Sio ndoto, unangoja nini? Cheza Lotto, it could be you. Nenda kwa M-Pesa paybill number 77700. Andika neno Look kama account number. Cheza na kati ya shilingi 50 hadi shilingi 2,000 na ushinde sasa. Round hii ni more draws, more cash and big wins na Lotto.
Over 18s only. Gaming can be addictive. Play responsibly. This message has been approved by the BCLB.
What's going on? Niko na rafiki yake Musa.
Adam. Huyu msichana watu wewe umempangia nini?
Nani?
Lazima tujue kwa jambo linalofuatia kwetu ni ndoa.
Nini?
Ndoa hii.
Doris, unaongea nini?
Pia, vile hii kazi ilivyo muhimu kwako wewe, hata mimi halikadhalika ni muhimu.
Sitoshi. Kuna mtu hivi sasa anatafuta atakula nini leo?
Mama, nimesoma mama, nimehitimu mama, na vyeti vyote. Kwa nini naishi maisha kweli?
Wewe si family hapa. Kuzaa si kama kwenda haja.
The man.
Thank you very much for staying with us, and we cross over to the President's tour in Germany now. President William Ruto has invited German businessmen to invest in Kenya's micro, small and medium-sized enterprises. The President said that Kenya stands to benefit from the world's most experienced, organized and resourced German establishments, noting that the sector is the backbone of the German economy, generating more than 60% of employment opportunities.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. President. Welcome to Germany. Glad to see you.
Thank you very much and welcome.
Good morning, Mr.
President.
Nice to meet you.
Michael, how are you? Jambo, how are you?
To welcome you to our country, to the Federal Republic of Germany, a country which has long-standing utmost pleasure and honor to welcoming you to Germany. Somehow we can deepen the bilateral cooperation with Kenya. Kenya is a hub and is a gate Eastern and Central African markets. Our association has been working on that since 20 years, and we had an equal level subject of development aid. But as
Now, at least 70 families have been displaced and thousands of livestock swept away as floods wreak havoc in various parts of the country. As Abigail Shearer now reports, families across the country have been left in the cold, trying to salvage the little that they can.
The long-awaited rains have now become a sore taste for residents in several areas across the country. In Kajiado County, Ilbisil Sub-County, families have been displaced while their cattle and poultry were swept away by floods. The residents are left without a way out, as the only thing they have control over is to rescue the remaining bits of their property.
Mbuzi hata zimebebwa, yule alikuwa na kuku, kwangu hakuna kuku hata moja. Kila mtu hakuna mtu ako na kuku, ng'ombe zimeenda, mbuzi zimeenda.
Na vitu zimechukuliwa na tunakaa tu na watoto tukiwa juu ya mesa. Jamani, tunauliza tu, hatuwezi kuonekania ni makansela wako.
And in Samburu, the sad state of events are well explained as property has been swept away by the floods in Naishamunye area. The overflow have caused serious damage and the leaders of this area are calling on the government to intervene.
Mali ile kidogodogo goigoi simeenda zote, na pia bado hatujapata kama kuna mwananchi ameenda, lakini mali yote na kila kitu, maboma silifagiliwa. Na ningependa tu kuomba kama inawezekana Red Cross wajaribu kama watapata ndege waende waangalie hao watu bile wako, kwa sababu watu wamefurika pande hiyo na wamechindwa watatokea wapi, watapitia wapi.
Elsewhere in Pokot, the situation is not different as residents spent a better part of the night and morning trying to control the muddle created by the mudslide following the heavy downpour. Residents and business people cry over their loss as some of the goods they depended on to earn a living are destroyed.
Ilikuwa mwendo wa saa 5 na dakika 40 ya usiku. Tulikuwa tumemaliza kula, tukonaelekea kulala. Ghafla binfu tukasikia mvua na mlipuko wa nini wa radi. Tukashangaa ni nini. Muda si mfupi nyumba ikaanza kutetemeka. Tukashangaa nini. Muda si mfupi tukashangaa maji imejaa kwa nyumba. Ile harakati ya kujitetea, tulitetea tu watoto peke yake. Vitu zilienda zingine tukasema eri maisha kushinda hii nini mavitu za dunia hizi.
Asubuhi ndipo tumekuja asubuhi hapa tukakuta madhara haya. Tumeangamia, masto ndio hiyo imefurugika, vitunguu imeangamia. Sasa hata hatujui tuende wapi, tutazaidikaje, na hii ni pesa ya loan. Hata hatujui serikali watatusaidia namna gani kusudi hii gharama loan wasije wakatukimbiza.
Abigail Shearer for Lookuptv.
Thank you very much, Abigail Shearer, for that particular story. Now, the government has mobilized all machinery to repair a section of the Garissa-Modogashe road that was washed away following a heavy downpour on Sunday morning. Speaking on Monday after touring the Cart Road just after Oyo Market Center, the Northeastern Regional Commissioner, Mr. John Otieno, said that the road being a major gateway to Wajir and Mandera counties, the relevant road bodies will work around the clock to make sure that transport resumes as quick as possible.
The vehicles that are plying this route spent the night here because they cannot be able to go across to Modogashe to Garissa. It's an extensive damage of the road that requires heavy resources to bring the road back to its normal status. However,
in this lagger, which ended up cutting this section of the road, we've moved into the section with immediate effect. We are trying to reinstate right now a temporary diversion, which we hope to finish within the next 2 to 3 hours, after which we'll embark on the main road because the long term is to have the main road reinstated. So I urge the public to be patient with us as we try to reinstate the temporary diversion before we can bring the vehicles back on the main road. This section only will cost to the tune of 100 million because you see there is almost 100 meters which is completely washed away, and almost another 100 meters that has the embankments washed away. So it will cost roughly 100 million to reinstate. However, if we include also the structures that we'll put, it will go to around 1.
Now, on to what's happening on the sporting world, and the Kenya national football team Harambee Stars held their first light training session after arriving in Tehran. The training was held at the Iran national team training complex. Harambee Stars will face off against the Iran national team tomorrow in a friendly match.